Hello everybody, welcome along to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. It's good to see you all here with us this evening. We are back for a live stream. We weren't live on Saturday because I had things going on and we released a video instead. But on Saturday nights, Automobilista 2 had a new update come along and it was for the release of Monza. So tonight we're going to take a good look at all the circuits available. We're going to give them all a good thorough testing in various different formats. And there's going to be one final big test at the end as well, so stay tuned for that. But we're looking forward to seeing what this is like. Now, those who tuned in regularly will know that I'm not a huge fan of Monza, but I'll drive anything, you know what I'm like. So we're going to give it a go and see what it's like to drive. We're looking forward to putting on a bit of a show for you this evening and giving our thoughts on how the tracks look in Automobilista 2 and their place within the sim. So super excited for this one, and we'll jump into the sim now and have a look at what we have available to us. So here we go, straight onto the track mode where we select what track we go on to. Even Funky, Evening Aid, more classic layouts, says Funky. Yes, there's plenty of classics in this one. This is going to be good. So what have we got to play with? Let's have a look. So obviously we have Monza, which is the modern current version. Let's go turn off my music because otherwise I'm not going to be able to concentrate. Too good. Right. So we have the modern version of Monza to play with, obviously, and then of course we have Monza Junior, which I actually really like this layout of Monza. So I'm looking forward to giving this a bit of a thrash. So Monza Junior obviously cuts off most of the circuit and just kind of does the first straight, a little cut through section, then down the back straight, and then the parabolica. So quite a short circuit, but good fun nonetheless. And then the order's a little bit messed up on the menu here, so we're going to jump to this one, which is Monza 1991. This one has got a similar layout to what we have now, except the first corner, which is different. So the first corner for me is one of the less enjoyable ones at Monza, and this one is probably one of my favourite versions of it. It has the double chicane, so it's a bit quicker, and there's lots of curbs going on as well, so I'm looking forward to giving that one a try. Aside from that one, we then go back further in time to 1971, which is this one here. So very little in the way of chicanes. This is just purely all out for speed. We have some fast corners and not a chicane to be seen, and obviously a little bit more dangerous runoff as well, I'm imagining, so we'll see what that's like. So in the 71 era we have a few different circuits. We have the main one, which is the standard track, if you like. We also have the 71 in the junior format, and then two rather large beasts. We have the Monza Historic 71 10K, which includes, of course, the original banked oval. But this one actually has a couple of chicanes in it, so there's one this backstretch here, and there's one just before you head out onto the banking as well. So curious to see how that's going to go, and if I can actually remember to brake in time. And then of course we have the full 10K without the chicanes, where it's just a straight out blast, and again, probably forgetting a lot of braking and going way too fast into corners, but we'll see how we get on. So we're going to work our way backwards in time. We're going to start off with the modern version, see how it compares, and give it a good go. What we're going to do is we're going to do a series of races with various different cars, different machinery, and the last one we're going to save the big banking one. We're going to throw in some fun stuff going on there with crazy multi-class racing and just see what happens. So to start us off with modern GTs at modern Monza. Let's see how we go. We've got I've put on 10 minute qualifying, just so we can kind of have a look around the circuit before we actually start trying to race the thing. And we're against GTEs and not P2s, DPIs. I'll get my words right at some point. So DPIs and GTEs. Too many acronyms going on. So 10-minute races, and just some short, sharp kind of action, and then we'll have a look around as well at some point and try and see some of the sights at Monza. So looking forward to having a good thorough look at the new circuits, which are of course as DLC for the title, so you have to pay a little bit extra to get them to come onto the sim. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hey, it downloaded this yesterday. It looks amazing with winter scenery. Yes, we've got it set to today's date, so I'm expecting some autumnal theme going on here, but we might look at doing some winter scenery as well, just to give it a thorough test. So here we go. We've got quite a nice selection of cars on track. So modern Monza, we already kind of have a good idea how this goes because it appears in quite a few different sims. And of course we're in the Porsche 911 because if you're going GTE you can't ignore this sound. Look at the colours on the trees, so cool. Into the first chicane, of course, the slow and rather frustrating one. Let's let this DPI go because he's eager to get past. Now also worth mentioning in this update for Automobilista 2 is they've made some changes to the AI, and there should be a little bit smoother and a little bit nicer to race against, so we'll give that a good go and see if that works out nicely as well. But how good does that look though? It looks really alive with the autumn trees. And because we're running multi-class racing, I have put the vehicle position locator on, which you might see at the bottom of the screen there, telling me when I'm about to get clouted by a DPI. Just Kadava, thank you, welcome along. Hello, the 10, you love the 10k version. Yeah, we're going to get onto that. I'm looking forward to trying that as well. Proper classic Monza. We're going to work our way backwards in time. Something seems a little off with my rotation. Oh, I know why. Fix that. It's better. Changed my wheel rotation settings on my wheel. Well, first impressions of the track. It looks absolutely spot on. It looks so good. So you have to buy it here, but we'll definitely get it for £8. Many layouts. Yeah, there's but I think it's about 8 layouts in total. I'm actually going to just pull over just to reset that wheel because even though I did it on the straight then, I don't think it's recognised it. So just some auto. Ah, that's better. Actual rotation. Might be able to get around turn 1 now. Oh, and I got a grid penalty for speeding a bit late. Never mind. I think I set it to start at the back anyway, just for some fun. So this is more just for exploration purposes and just to have a good look around. But it looks really, really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like in other seasons as well. Ah. So I'm driven through by a DPI. Just sitting on the apex is my own fault. There's quite a lot to distract you driving around here actually. The great thing about Monza is it's set inside a park, so you get a lot of trees, kind of parkland setting. All of a sudden we got steering. I wasn't expecting it. Come on, leave me alone. Okay. A nice fir tree to aim at going into Lesmo 2 there. You can just see in the distance just on the outside of the track. And a good view of that building complex on the right there as well as you come down the back straight. There's the banking that will be on soon enough. Pick up our speed as we go. Hey SimRacer, are you racing the AI or is there a server set up? No, I'm just racing the AI currently. We're just going to go through and just do some quick 10-minute races against the AI, just exploring the different track layouts. But judging by how this circuit is looking, we may end up having to do some servers and just get some of you guys in and have a bit of a play, because this is going to be fun. Okay, well, we all know Monza, the modern version, so I think we've got a decent enough look around. Let's go back to the pit box and we'll skip to the end of that session and we'll just continue straight through to the race and see how we get on with all the cars on one part of the track. Now this is a good test for the AI, especially as we're starting at the back of the grid. turn 1 at Monza is always a AI killer. They always get down to the end of the straight and everyone parks up and gingerly works their way through the first chicane. So let's see if they can actually handle it with a full grid. We're at the back of 26 other cars. We're on a rolling start. And here we go, get ready to launch down to turn 1. A cacophony of sound. Yes, lots of typical Monza dive bombing, and I'm probably sure most of it's going to come from me. Well, we are coming to a bit of a halt, but it's not too bad, considering. Just managed to pick up a few places there. That's not too bad, actually. It almost came to a bit of a standstill, but we're right at the back, and that's pretty good. If you were in mid-grid, I think that would have been not so bad. But a Porsche's just ploughing into the second chicane. It's nice though. It does feel good to drive. A hot mid-corner on the curb. Oh, it looks so good. We'll change the date for the next one just to see what the different seasons are like. Ooh, that one's a bit wild through there, the AI. Big sideways moment. Oh, we're going to get eaten up by this Corvette behind us now. No, we're not, so we block him. Come on, let's keep her on the outside of him here. Got a better run down the straight. You hate Zone 1 at Monza Circuit. Yeah, no, it's not a favourite, I don't think, of many people. Like driving into a broom cupboard. Yeah, especially when you've got some huge GTE cars like we're on right now. Not so bad if you're in minis. It would appear we're a little bit better on the brakes than the AI into turn 1. More luck than judgment, I will put that out there. But we showed that Corvette the way. Right, let's try and pick up the pace, shall we? And try and catch these Porsches ahead of us. We can't let them get away. Just between gears for Lesmo 1. Third gear's probably a little bit too low for it. The GTE cars in Automobilista this year are so good to drive. I mean, I know there's been a few some more changes to the tyre constructions for some of these cars. I don't know if the GTEs were included, I forgot to check, but for a driving experience, GTE in AMS2 does feel so good. All the way over the curb. So far we're kind of sat, not making too much progress, but also not really losing too much time, apart from through there, where they seem to be a lot quicker than I am. Corvette on our inside again. We'll have to use our superior braking ability into turn 1. Need it. Is he going to come across? No! Well, somehow we kind of survived that. He just eased across on me and then put me onto the grass, which was very kind of him. Got to remember there are other people on the track as well. I think in a real life situation that would have been race over, but let's just defend on the inside here. Oh, the noise over the curves when it revs out. Incredible. with the speed advantage of the DPIs, I'm not sure whether we'll get caught within a 10-minute race or not, but we'll see. We might have some lappery going on at some point. Sim racing, I don't understand why some people bash MS2 so much. Looks and drives brilliantly. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Oh, we've got some chaos up the chicane, and we've got a Porsche in the middle of the road. Oh, someone did a Lance Stroll or a Vettel that's pulling across the field in front of us. Well, the AI is being a bit interesting. But yes, absolutely, to go back to your points of race, yes, it does look and drive brilliantly. I mean, you cannot fault the look of the place. I mean, it just, you know, it's alive, it's vibrant, there's lots going on. It looks like it would do on a on a race weekend. It's on something. It's having a bit of a moment, I think. Right, down to the second chicane, 150 board, hard on the anchors. Smash a bit of curb. Catch a bit of oversteer. Straight back on the loud pedal. I'm going to leave it in fourth for Lesmo 1 this time, just to see what happens. Yeah, that's what happens, you just clip the barrier on the inside. Yeah, a lot quicker through there than I am. Despite the moment of the scurry, they've caught right back up with us again. So 150 board again. It's all that curve on the inside. Good feel over the curbs, lots of feedback. It's going to sit in the middle of the road here. GT3 and GT have had tyre physics updates, yeah, okay. Wow. Maybe I should have taken some wing off. That Porsche had so much more pace in the straight line than I did. As the helicopter flies over the main straight. If they've got a different power map on with the speed they're taking down these straights. Not too bad though. Still having a decent race with them, despite their funny moments. Got the Porsche behind me. He's the one that absolutely nailed this blue one in front of me. Avoid the arm car on the inside. Slightly better. But it's the texturing as well is what's so cool. I mean, just looking at the curves back there on the exit of Lesmo 2, you can see they're kind of used and they're rugged, and there's lots of stories being told on that. They're not just pure clean curves that have been freshly painted for a Grand Prix weekend. They are well used. Destroyed down the straights once again. So this corner of the Parabolica obviously recently renamed the corner of Michele Alboreto, who famous Italian driver. The new paint scheme on the outside runoff area, which is very nice. An old Ferrari F1 car. Start. We're ambitious on the brakes. We'll let him back through again. Made up a huge amount of time, but didn't get penalised for it. Lesmo 1 once again. Actually, cornering speed from the guy ahead. Right, got a bit of a gap behind us now. We're in the slipstream of the Porsche ahead of us. Try and use his straight line speed advantage to our advantage. Just run away from us. Right, this might well be the last lap, so we'll see. No answer for that pace. Where's the finish line? Is it on the first bit or the second bit? Must be down here. Maybe we have one more lap. Oh, way over the curb. Still no sign of the DPIs. Maybe they're not quite as quick as I was expecting them to be. Screaming flat 6. Sounds so good. Right up to the gravel on the outside that time. But still doesn't give us the straight line speed advantage we need. Easing all the road. The Scurry chicane is probably one of my favourite parts of the circuit, just because it's a bit of a knife-edge balance through there. You kind of lean on the tyres on that right-hander and then flick it back over the curb on the left-hander on the exit and try and carry as much speed as you can. It's quite a challenging chicane, but good fun, just because of the speed variable in it. Whereas the rest of the chicanes are just slow and you just hit the curbs and off you go. But yeah, the Scurry chicane is quite a challenge, good fun to drive. Hi Steve, yes, this is the Monza DLC. Oh, we've got another lap out of it. The second part that I ran on too much. Yes, this is Monza. We're taking a good look at the different configurations of Monza through the years, as we starting at the modern end of things, and then we're going to go back in time gradually, bit by bit, and just see how the circuit differs over time. Ooh, wild. Maybe this one's the last lap then. Must have caught the leaders just at the right time. So they maybe started their last lap with a second to go or something. Okay, so first initial impressions after the first race on the modern circuit. Very, very nice indeed. Monza is, I guess in some racing it's a bit of an acquired taste. Some people absolutely love it, some people despise it, and then there's myself, who's just kind of in between. I just kind of, I enjoy driving around here. It is a fun circuit to drive. Maybe not my first choice when it comes to driving a car on track, but at the same time it has its challenges, as does every circuit. But the actual look of this one, the way it's laid out, very, very nice indeed. It's credit to the Riser guys, they've done a great job. There we go, that was the last lap. Okay, so that's Monza, the modern version. And we made up a few places off the start and then stayed there pretty much, so not bad. Right, so that's the modern one ticked off. Very, very nice indeed. and we'll go back to the 1991 era next. Racer, absolutely loving MS2 recently. Do you think they are going to have to decide on multiplayer or single player focus, as neither work well at the moment? Okay, yeah, good point. I'm just going to get my book here so I know what I'm doing next, because you know we are so high tech on this channel that we revert to paper and pen to make sure everything runs smoothly, you know. But yeah, I do know they are running, or they will be putting in some form of ranked multiplayer system of sorts. It is in the works, it is coming. When, I'm not entirely sure, but it is on its way, so we just got to be patient and hope that works, because at the moment I know this the multiplayer side of things, I know a lot of people say that it's very empty and there's not much going on online, so maybe we need to rectify that. Maybe we need to do some online stuff and you guys can come join us. How's that? But yeah, we know that there is something coming, and it's good to have that balance of single player and multiplayer as well, because not everyone wants to race online. Some people prefer to have a bit of fun offline, just racing against the AI. I mean, you can race them, and we saw that a bit of a brain melting moment, but in general you can race them pretty well. So for actually no, we're not going to go 91. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. We've got to do the junior circuit first, haven't we? So we are on. This is why we have a pen and paper, you see. So I keep myself in track. I get too excited. So we're going to go with the Ginetta G40 Super Cups. Sorry, not Super Cups, just the regular cup. To take around Monza Junior, which is the shortened version. So we're going to run that one. No, we don't want multi-class with GTE and DPI. That would just be absolute chaos. Just turn that down a second. We'll probably just do it to 10. Yeah. Excuse me, 10 minutes will be sufficient, I think. Oh yeah, we're going to change the date, weren't we? So let's go to middle of winter, shall we? Let's race on. Let's make it magical. Let's race Christmas Eve this last year. Let's see what happens. They've made some big changes as well to the real-time weather, or the historical weather system as well. So there's been some improvements to that and some additions going on as well. So yeah, very, very cool feature. I actually really like that. You can select a certain day and have that certain type of weather that happened on that particular day. So that's really cool. So let's load into this one, and we'll give the Ginetta a little bit of a thrash around the shorter version of Monza, the Monza Junior circuit. So in my opinion, this is by far the best track release so far. The quality is outstanding. Yeah, no, I'm really impressed with it so far. Really am. Will you? Hang on, I can't see what that says because of the thing there. So Tish says, will you do another one lap with every car at some point? Really loved it. Yes, we will. We've got housekeeping to do. We've got new cars which we've not taken around Bathurst, so we'll do that as well. But yeah, get some comments in. Get some ideas of what track we can do for a one car versus that track challenge, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Right. So Ginetta G40, Monza Junior. Let's get this thing moving. I can already see some very bare trees ahead of us. Okay, here we go. The Ginetta G40s are really fun. There's snow on the hills in front of us. How cool is that, by the way? Not just... hang on a sec. Oh, there's sunflower as well. Just have to take this in a moment. Okay, so there's one thing... Sorry. There's one thing making the track surroundings in terms of the trees alongside the track and all the other parts of the circuit looking like winter. But to even go to the extent of changing the far distance background as well to match the time of year. Just outstanding level of detail. That is really actually blown my mind. That's fantastic. But how good does winter look? Winter's never looked so good with its barren trees and its cold-looking skies. Okay, so this version of Monza Junior then doesn't actually have the chicane. So those who played GT Legends and remember the Monza Junior circuit from there, I've got a friend next to me here, will remember that before you come to the start-finish line, there's actually a little chicane that was on there where you have a big barrier which you have to kind of negotiate through there. But that doesn't appear to be in this version of Monza Junior. It's a simple flat-out dash from Parabolica all the way down to the first corner of it. Yeah, Funky, you're absolutely right. It's just stunning, isn't it? So much so that we've got around a lap and a half and I'm not really focused on driving because I'm too busy looking at all the detail. But what I also love is that it's not just, you know, you have one tree and then you copy and paste it and stamp it around all over the place. As you look around, I'm finding it quite difficult to see an identical tree to one I've seen elsewhere on the track. But that snowy mountain in the background, what a view that is. Right, so the track then. Cut through this little infield section here, out on the power into the sunshine, a sweeper to the left, and then little double brakes to get the car turned in for the final part of the cut through section there. So Racing says, from a visuals point of view, the decision to use Madness Engine was a great choice, and for VR is just amazing. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about AMS2 in VR. Same with Project Cars 2, that was apparently one of the most immersive titles to drive in VR in terms of visual. We've got our low-level cloud mist over the surface as well in this session because of the winter time and the early morning. But it's just constant golden hour, isn't it? It's just so nice. And we were racing at the same time in the GTE, so obviously now in winter time the sun is much lower in the sky. So we have a very different lighting situation going on. Wow, okay, right. That's enough of that. We've qualified most likely at the back because, oh no, somehow I've not been the slowest car on track despite not really paying attention. Right, well, we'll go to the pit box and we will go to the end of that session. And we'll start from 19th on the grid, apparently. Alright then. Here we go then. We now skipped to more of the daytime rather than the morning. Rolling start, we're ready to go. Here we go. We've got a good jump on the guys ahead of us. They were on the brakes when we were on the power. And we're going to get squeezed in the middle of 3 wide. Ginetta's everywhere as we go into turn 1. Quite orderly. Very patient and full of manners. Everyone taking liberties with the grass on the inside of that little right-hander. Project Cars 3 is on sale over at Steam, and I'd still pick up AMS2 every time. That's what Project Cars 3 should have been. Yeah, yeah. It's a weird direction that they've taken with Project Cars to do more down the arcade racer side of things. But AMS2 is certainly providing us with a fabulous title in the Madness engine. So much enjoyment to be had in AMS2. I really love the title. I think it's fantastic. Okay, so we've got a bit of a race going on. We've got one on the inside there. Let's try and head into that inside line and then open up our entry into turn 1. Try and go around the outside of everyone else. Sneak up the inside into the left. There we go. We seem to be a bit quicker in Ginetta's than we are in GTUs. We're making places up. I know I clicked down the difficulty a little bit, but I thought that's probably just for a bit more of a race. better do that. Looks like they are not quite as quick. Oh, we're deep into the Parabolica. We instantly get re-overtaken on the exit, which is fair enough. So this little circuit, it's just a couple of straights in this middle section. So for these lower powered cars, it's actually quite a good little combo. Because I think on the full Grand Prix circuit, these cars will get probably a little bit lost, but this is more their kind of size, I suppose. I'm not going to dive bomb it at the inside, that'd just be unfair, even if it is an AI. Best looking, most immersive sim, says A. Taylor. Yeah, no, I would go along with that. It is super immersive, and it does feel and drive really nicely as well. It's not just about the visuals or the quality of the content in the game. The driving really does stack up with it as well. And it runs nicely as well. I mean, I'm not going to say that my system is incredibly powerful. It's not a monster by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it's pretty old by modern day computer standards. However, it's capable of running a 27-car grid and streaming the thing, and being relatively smooth and running really well. So it's very accessible for a lot of people as well. So it's a winning title on all counts. Definitely a lot quicker through this middle section than the AI, but let's see how we get on. Byron, great choice of car. I love the Gilettas. Yeah, these are fun little cars, aren't they? They're always good fun to drive. Right, let's see if we can sneak a move up into the Parabolica here, but not outbrake ourselves like last time. There we go. According to our arrows behind us, we have 3 of them swarming all over our rear end, which is about right for Ginetta racing. There they are. Someone on our right? Yes, there is someone on our right. The arrows don't lie. Right, down to turn 1 again. Oh, I just about got away with braking at the 100 board. Still got someone on our inside. Have to yield as we go around to the left here. A bit of oversteer on the exit just for fun. Probably that helped with carrying momentum down the straight, but I enjoyed it. So we're up to P12. Let's get in the toe, which is what racing at Monza is all about. Getting that slipstream and making those moves at the end of the straights. And then promptly almost running out of road and losing momentum, so that the other guy come back through again on the inside again. There he is. Some space. Hi Stephen. Verizon will update Monza in the near future with an art pass, etc. Okay. Is that for better running, etc.? Or just general updates? I think it looks fantastic as it is. So if they're going to improve it with an art pass, then yeah, it's just going to be phenomenal. A slightly better exit out of the right hander this time. We're actually got to run on the straights. Yeah, the lighting's so nice. It's just so natural looking. But I love these slower cars because the racing is just so much closer, and it's just, you've got to be super precise, you've got to be very careful with what you do with your inputs, trying to make sure you're maximising speed all the time, and it's just fun. So Aid said, went to have a quick drive on here yesterday, 90 minutes later I was still going. It's not even my favourite track to drive. It does that sometimes, doesn't it? You get trapped. But trapped in a good way. Yeah, so hive scooping, more detail and so on. Okay. That'd be good. Okay, so nice to see someone live streaming MS2. Hardly any of the usual suspects covering it, much for some reason. Oh, that is a shame. But we do like to run AMS2, so you're more than welcome to join us whenever we're doing any kind of streaming, but especially for AMS2 because we do run it quite frequently. We do reviews like we're doing now, and we do some mad challenges and some different kind of content. So yeah, good to have you with us. Nice to have you joining us this evening, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying it. I'm actually really enjoying Monza, which for me is quite impressive. We're having a decent race here. We've got a bit of pace on these other guys, and we're just slowly but surely picking our way through. Got 2 minutes left in the session. No extra lap on this one, so it's just going to be a case of clock runs out and the race will end as soon as we cross the line. We're up into the top 10 now. We're in P8. Definitely getting a decent run off that last corner. Someone's on the grass on the way into the parabolica. That's not the ideal line in. Novice ahead of us, going to give this guy some space. There's a novice cross on the rear. I'm not sure why not many people run MS2. I don't know. I'm not sure why people don't get on with it, but I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good. This and Race Room are my two favourite sims at the moment. You know what we like on the channel, we like doing things a little bit different to the norm. So we try and keep the content interesting and entertaining here on the channel. We don't take ourselves too seriously either. Funky will tell you that. And there'll be some not too serious action coming up later on in the stream as well, because one of our most what's the word? Infamous vehicles will be coming out to play a little bit later on. And I'm looking forward to that because that could be a lot of fun. So all of a sudden we're now in P7. 24 seconds left on the clock. This should be the last lap. I know I've said that before and it hasn't been, but this one should be it. Bit of a dive bomb send into turn 1. Take that. Thank you very much. This is the leading pack here, all stuck together. Get that trademark run off the last corner. Use all the extra track because it's there, so why not? Now we've snuck up into P5. Can we get another one before the end of this? Fusker around the 10k ovals, that's funky. Half right. But I'm pretty sure you know which half you got right. Well, there we go. That was a good fun race. Still got this little guy behind us trying to get his top 5 position back. Car spreading out across the track, and there we go. 10-minute race around Monza Junior in Ginetta G40s at winter. In winter, not at winter. Well, that was thoroughly enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. That was epic. Right. Now it's time to go back in time. We've done the modern ones, and we're going back in time, and my book says we're going to 1991, so that's what we're doing. That was fun, man. That looks so good. Super impressed. Right, so Monza, 1991. There's a couple of different cars we could do on here. ARC Camaro plus 10k equals unsubscribe. Don't do it, please. Let's go around the 5k oval. So 1991, there's a couple of options we could drive in this. We could obviously take one of the Formula cars because there's a couple of 90s-ish spec Formula cars, the Formula Classic Gen 3s, which are around that kind of era. But we're not going to do those because there's another 90s race car that we want to drive around here. We're going to go to the World Endurance Championship days and take some Group C cars around Monza in 1991. Now, last time we drove Group C, we drove the mighty Sauber, and I'm going to drive it again this time only because I saw something in the updates on the release notes. That's what I'm thinking of, which I want to try out. So we're going to give this one a go. So let's do some more multi-class action. We're going to clear our options there, and so I'm going to have obviously the Group C cars, and we're going to put in the GT Classics as well. So we have the Porsche 911 RSR and the Corvette C3, just to make it a little bit interesting, especially with the speed of these mad Group C cars. That should be a lot of fun. So let's change the date again. We've seen winter time. Let's go to springtime. Go to April 24th. Right. I'll leave all those the same because that's fine. And we're on Monza 91 in the Sauber Mercedes. So there we go. So here we go. Right. Some catching up to do. Tish says, yes, Race Room and AMS2 are my favourites too. Hope for a weekly hot lap challenge in AMS2 like in a Race Room. Yeah. Now we do the hot lap challenges in Race Room. They're good fun to do, aren't they? There's some good competition going on in there, and there's some good combos as well. But Race Room's really, really fun. The ranked servers and things. Azaris, welcome. I'm addicted to F Classic Gen 3 at Monza 91. Send help. I wish I could, but I don't think I'll be much help. I'll be stuck there too. And A Taylor says ranked Race Room is awesome. Yes, it is. Absolutely right. Okay. Some Group C Monster time at Monza 91. You can hear the noise in my ears. Right. So our twin turbo V8 Group C car sounded epic anyway. But apparently they've increased the backfire on the overrun. So let's see what that sounds like. Let's merge through this Corvette. Oh, I love this thing. Excuse me, Corvette. Right, so rather than going straight on, we have a little bit of a kink to the right. And then smash curbs for fun. Oh, I love that version so much better. Is the Curva Grande going to be flat out in this thing? I wonder. And then the rest of the circuit will have some slight differences. Oh, the second chicane actually goes on much further than the modern version. To the Lesmo one. Distinct lack of runoff on the outside. This thing sounds amazing. Right, down the back straight we go. This thing's an absolute rocket ship. Brake a bit early here. So Ascari chicane, pretty much as is, as I get overtaken around the outside by Porsche 956. I tried the Corvette for the first time last week and got C successfully. Did you try the street version? It's a bit more wallery. And the Parabolic, again, very similar, just with gravel runoff on the outside. But it's this first chicane which is where the magic really is for me on this layout of Monza. Smash past this RSR and waylaid Porsche Group C car. Right, braking 200 board. This is just like, that's so good. That is so good. It's like the bus stop at the old version of Spa, but on steroids, because it's so much quicker and twice. The RSR being all throaty next to me as well as the sound of this V8. So the second Lesmo is a lot more elongated compared to what we have now. So the second part of it in the modern version is quite a tight corner really, and you have to apply a little bit more brake. But, whoa, hello, Mr. Aggressive AI. But on this version, it's actually a bit more of a smoother, quicker curve, so you have to get used to that. Go on then, if you're going, leave me alone. Turn. Our only chance, I think, in this particular race is going to be when the other cars come up with come up behind the slower cars and then get held up. Oops, 5 gears. Let's buzz the engine. Sorry, Salbert. Then you just launch it. Probably not that much, but in a similar fashion over the curves. That is just that's just so good. Not much of an overtaking opportunity, but just mega fun. Right, let's get Lesmo 2 sorted. And on the power application as well. So Lesmo 1's also a little bit longer and a smoother radius corner. Well, it's much quicker than the second part. Sorry, you ran out of fuel luckily. That's one way to stop it, I suppose. So really, the only similarity between this and the modern version is the Ascari chicane and the Parabolica, apart from the runoff sections. Oh, this thing's an absolute animal. Right, so that's our overall look at the circuit. Let's jump straight into a race, because that's the done thing to do, because that's where we learn. I don't hear too much more in the way of overrun popping and banging, so maybe I wasn't listening hard enough. Right, next session. Go to the end. And, oh, that's very kind of them. They put me at the back of the Group C grid. So I'm going to get held up by all the GT Classics off the line. Okay. Oh, wish us the luck. Getting right behind this Rothmans portion of us. And away we go. No. I decided against it. Oh, this is the Porsche through there. See, first corner, far less chaos than there is in the modern one. That was so much more orderly and organised. I'm just going to stick on the back of these other guys for the moment, if we can. If being the opposite word. Oh, he's slammed that curve on the inside. They are considerably quicker than we are, so I think we're going to get left behind here, but never mind. Oh man. Fancy a delta sign over the back straight. Very topical for that time of the history of the past 90s. Yeah, we have no pace against the AI around here on this section. Would be the best layout or version in your opinion? Yeah, much faster flowing, and those Group C cars are pretty bit of a handful though. Yes, I would say. But the flow through here is just spectacular. We've got one already. He's just nosed into the barriers. groomsy cars are always fun. But no matter how much of a handful they are, they go almost 3 wide in front of us. I dare say they are easier to drive than some of the other cars that we're going to be throwing up later on in this video. Just a delicate little balance of the oversteer through the exit there. Okay, we're kind of getting to grips with it a little bit more now. We've got a bit of heat in the tyres as well, which is helping. And the fact that they're going 3 wide again in front of us. Ooh, back into the Scari. Survived, just. See that turbo whistling and just spooling up, letting you know you're about to just get a whole wave of power. So careful with the throttle, you really do. This thing is all too happy to oblige with giving you oversteer to deal with. Look at this mad lot in front of us. Where are they going to go from there? And then power out all the way through. Yes. Just yes. Okay, well, come on, sort yourselves out. The guy hasn't caught up with us yet. They have a lot more mid-corner grip to turn into there than I do. Either that or just flat-out confidence. I'm glad they're not getting away too much. I'm actually able to bring it back in at some point. Ooh, someone's had a moment on the exit. Oh, the good thing is at least it shows they're... It's going to sound odd now, but at least it shows that they're human. The fact that they make mistakes just like I did right there. So if they get to these little moments where they tangle with another car or they put the wheel on the grass, you know, it makes it a bit more of an interesting race, not just constantly going around on the same line, not deviating whatsoever. Sliding it through there is always fun. One of the other things that they've done with the AI is to try and reduce the juddery movements. Looking at them, although they're all over the place in terms of all over the road, they are at least doing it in a semi-predictable manner, which is always nice. The other one behind us again. You've been driving the vintage Gen 1s again for the first time in many months and they seem much improved. Yeah, I think they've made some changes there as well. Curbs are brutal, not like modern curbs. Yeah, they're a little bit taller, a bit more razor-like, not so inviting. Look at this, almost 4 wide in front of us here. Who doesn't want to be a part of that action? What curbs? I don't see any curbs. Underneath my car. Oh, here we go. Got some action with... Oh, don't pull out. The slower cars are in the way. We'll use those to our advantage. My love affair with curbs continues. It does, always all over them. Even when it's not in my best interest to be so. while the slower cars are playing havoc through Lesmo 2. Let's take the fast lane and breeze past them all. Oh, that Porsche sounds incredible on the tail shifts. There we go, more fun and games. I honestly thought he was going to come right into my path then. This is why you've got to love multi-class racing. It's just so fun. Oh, so good. 2 minutes to go. These ones aren't so bad. I don't think they're quite as savage as some of the other ones, but because you're not really on them for very long, you can take as much of them as you like. Hey, how are we doing, guys? Threading the needle, have you? Yes, absolutely. Got to be done. Got to seize those opportunities, because you know that through the fast stuff, those guys are going to be right back with us again. So, an opportunity presents itself, you just got to do it. To get out of the throttle, then I felt the rear end coming around midway round, and that was never going to end well midway through the Ascari. Whoa, hello. Someone's got some grip. Can't get unsettled by curbs if you fly over them. That's right. That's the thinking. Cross-skating down from 5th to 3rd for the first chicane. Smashing some curb for fun. And all of a sudden, the first chicane's disappeared. Definitely quicker through there than the AI, but then we're probably not really taking the conventional line. I like the second chicane layout as well. It's actually makes it more pleasant compared to the more modern version. Don't know. It just seems to. More of an actual corner rather than just something to slow you down, which it feels like the second chicane is a little bit at the moment anyway, but you actually have to do a little bit more turning to get through. It opens up on the exit, which actually makes it a little bit nicer to drive through. Managed to do the parabolic and half decently then. So our time is up, so this should be, and it is, race over. Somehow we managed to get ourselves up to P6 with all that lappery shenanigans going on. Well, Monza 91 with Group C bullies. Well, what can you say? It's just... There's not many times in sim racing when you're driving essentially the same track, albeit with a few different changes, that you come off and you're just like, what just happened? What was that all about? Because that was just so good. That layout is amazing. That would be, if we could bring that back to modern day Formula 1 now, that would be my preference. I would think that would just be such a nice track to drive compared to the modern one. Ah, absolutely mega. Okay, where's my book? So that's 91. There's no junior version of 91. So now we jump back further in time, and we're going to go to 2 decades earlier in 1971, and that's this one. This is the standard Grand Prix circuit, if you call it that, for that time of year. We just have the basic outline, but without any first chicane, without any second chicane, or the Ascari chicane. It's just speed everywhere. So we're going to give that a go, and you know, it wouldn't be Monza, it wouldn't be a Monza track review if we didn't do some form of single-seater F1 car around here. So with that in mind, we're going to go for the Formula Retros, because that's the kind of car era that we'll be talking about for this particular track. So we have a choice here to go with. We're going to go, I think, with the I'm going to go with the Formula Retro V8, because out of all of them, I'm a big fan of tall airboxes, and this is the tallest of the tall airboxes that you could possibly have, and I think it just looks mega. So we're going to go with this, and I'm going to go with the Shadow lookalike, which is such a cool looking livery. So we don't want multi-class because we don't want more madness. We're going to do same class, and let's change the date this time. We're going to go to summer. You know, springtime, there's some leaves on the trees, there's some greenery around and things, so it's all pretty standard. So let's see what it's like in the height of summer in August, and then we'll just keep rotating through the months and just get a full look of the circuit in its full glory all year round, its annual glory. So here we go, from Formula 1 cars then. This is, for many people, what Monza is all about, and where the history of Monza comes into its own. Of course, they've held World Endurance Championship races around there, they've held rounds of the WTCC and ETCC World Touring Car Cups as well, but for a lot of people it's all about the Formula 1 presence at Monza. So let's drive some of these epic single-seaters around Monza. 1971. And the real question or worry for me here is remembering to brake. Those clouds are moving fast. And that's going to be my issue. I'm going to again be looking at the track and just having a good look around, and I'm just going to come into a corner and think, oh yeah, this should be flat out, and then realise, oh actually it isn't. So here we go. What could possibly go wrong? Stephen, up Periscope, yes! Marty, welcome to the bird catcher. Just inspect it and see what's in there at the end of the race. Right, we're just going to take this a bit easy, just because this is all going to be a bit of sighting exploration. So straight into the Curva Grande, no first chicane, all of that nonsense. And then a little bit of a kick towards the left, and then we're straight into the first of the Lesmos with a nice inviting Armco barrier to the left hand side. Oh, it's very kind of. They extended the track by a foot on the outside there, just to make sure you had enough room. And then straight away, we're already on the homeward stretch, heading towards the paddock under the oval. Why am I braking? And there's no Ascari there. And here was me thinking that I would forget to brake, when in fact I was braking when perhaps I shouldn't. So quick, the old Ascari curve, and all the retro signage around the outside, adding to the overall look of the circuit, which is super cool. I mean, look at that! Oh, the signs with the big wooden supports. Yeah, no kidding, Marty. It looks incredible. We've had historic versions of Monza and Sims before, instead of course and namely. I know Project Cars had it as well. And usually it's just a case of some fairly basic tarmac and a lining of trees, and that's about it. But even though there's more of the same here, we've got some rather inviting bushes on the left hand side there waiting to catch me if I get it wrong. But somehow this looks even more alive than the other ones in other sense. Actually, it has a feel to it which just, I don't know, just invokes nostalgia. It's just, I mean, you can get lost in the details as you're looking along here. I mean, down that stretch normally you didn't see much. I'll do it again. You don't see much other than just banking and trees, but even along there in here you can see the details of the fences and just all the little touches. It just looks simply stunning. And through the Parabolica with the signage, the big SO board welcoming you into the Parabolica, and then all the other ones pointing the opposite direction as you come out of the Parabolica. And then something I've just not seen. I mean, I know I've mentioned it before in the winter mode where you can see the snow on the hills, but I don't ever remember seeing much of the backdrop of Monza. So that's really neat. That's alright. Missing the spectators right next to the road there. Yeah, the spectators are a little bit well behaved and behind the barriers. It should be all down here and in the bushes there. Ray said, how cool do these historic trucks look? Yeah, 100%. DFV powered single seater, just making this all the more enjoyable experience. That's quite a scary grandstand. If you were there and you had these F1 cars coming through there at quite some speed, most likely sideways, that'd be quite a scary view. This is riser all over this racing. It's like 5 tracks in one release. Right, we're going to go flat this time, no braking. We do need to keep it on the black stuff. Pay attention, Phil, will you? So that is flat, if you keep it on the track. I mean, I misjudged that because obviously these F1 cars have got rather large rear slicks which stick out a little bit further than the fronts, and I just caught the grass and then just probably right into it. So, but look at this though, with the historic single seaters and the historic circuit, it's just superb, isn't it? Bit of a lift for Trevor Grande, maybe. You know, we've got a bit of downforce. I think if we're going through here in the Formula Vintage cars, I don't think we'd be able to keep that flat. Just trying to feed the power in. It's on the inside. Picking up the pace a little bit now. Getting used to it, but certainly got a lot more straight line speed for a change than the car ahead. Just look at the back end of that. It's just mechanical parts everywhere with exhaust pointing at you. I've done it again. This time we managed to keep it on the track. Just. On the red line and keeping it there. If you're fans of historic motorsport, yeah, you can't go far wrong with this. This is it's perfect. And obviously the pit lane there, which is not hidden behind a wall as well, which is how it would be in period. Right, let's go and do the race, and let's see how we go. We had a good look around there now. Let's go back to the pit box, go to the end of that, continue, and we'll be starting where? Oh, 15th apparently. Nice. Tried the ovals in VR yesterday. Absolutely mental. Can't even imagine them back in the day in real life. Yeah, it must be. I mean, different times obviously, but what a scary prospect that must have been for the drivers going in there. I mean, anything could happen at high speeds around there. And with the banking being that rough, it's just, yeah. You've got to blot it out of your mind because you can't think about it. Right, here we go. I got like crazy then. I thought I was going, but I wasn't. Not a normal start for these cars in this era, but We'll run it as a rolling start. Look at this, big full grid ahead of us. Where are we going to go into turn 1? Oh, everyone's keeping it nice and orderly. The grass being kicked up. Trying to sneak on the inside into the Lesmo 1. Of course, no brake lights to measure yourself against. So you just have to judge it. There's 72 in front of us and its beautiful gold leaf colours. So, gained a spot up to P14. Another banking once again. This time let's try not to run onto the grass. Let's keep it nice and central through here. That's better. Calmer through through the Scari. This really will be a slipstream battle. This is probably, although not periodically correct, something like the Ginetta G40s round. This variation would be just fun. It'd be flat out most of the way. Just slipstreaming a battle, that could be a lot of fun. Or minis, the classic minis. That'd be amazing too. I probably should have raised my gearing a little bit because we're right on the red line. Figuring out where he's going to go into turn 1. Oh, someone's right on the grass on the inside. Oh, we're not going to go 3 wide into Lesmo 1, no way. Ooh, don't increase my precious 72. AI adjustments work as well as in the past. Haven't had time to check any of that out yet. Yeah, so we're running against the AI now, and yeah, they're working pretty well, Marty. It's decent change. Got some stuttering going on, which has not helped our line through Ascari. Oh, sorry, old boy, I didn't mean that. Right. Oh no, more stuttering going on. Sort of calm down for the time being. Hopefully it stays that way. Any more of those. That's because I said it was running really well with my system. I just jinxed that one. But it's okay, it's still running fine. So, little breath out of the bottle into Curva Grande. Although, having said that, next time I might take it flat out. Cars all over the back of me. Bit of a balance out of there. Big balance out of there. Red chap, meatball, yep. Not wrong. It happens all too frequently. Then again, I get deceived by the shadows turning into there. That's probably what it is. Thinking I need to turn in earlier than I do. Racing perfect cars to cure thunderfoot double habits. Yes, something I need to work on a bit more as well, to be fair. It's deep. Deserve to lose that spot with that entrance to the Parabolica. His toe though. Just remember the rear's wider than the front. Okay, flat out. Flat out. Wow. Thank you, aerodynamics. And slicks. Exit I was looking for. Incognito, yeah. That was a bit of a moment, wasn't it? Welcome along, by the way. Right, there we go. That's the turning point for the Ascari curve. Hey. You get so much more straight line speed. Oh, picking up a bit of side draft there by the looks of it. And a bit of grass on the entrance. Let's chop the nose off the guy behind. Well, we're racing the AI, and we're actually having a pretty decent race with them too. Quicker in some places than they are, and they're quicker than me in some places, and I'm also inaccurate with my steering. Let's improve that. Let's give myself extra space. So good. Desmo 2 is a bit trickier because of the gradient on the camber on the road, I think. Just doesn't tend to stick to the apex as well. If you do get it in there, it tends to wash out to the left hand side a bit more. I wonder if that's aero through there actually. It seems to be very upset going through the Ascari curve. Ad boards are fantastic. They are. Before the days of TV and had to be the size of whole buildings. They're huge, aren't they? Absolutely enormous. I love the retro logos and things as well. It's so cool. Oh, we got someone off, and I'm almost joining him. Crunch. That's the thing with Monza Historic. When accidents happen, they all happen rather quickly. So date and time on the track. I think this is the 24th of August 2020. And timing wise, I think it's about 12 o'clock. We'll check that. Luckily, I haven't got the damage multiplier turn up particularly high, otherwise that would have been game over. As of this, we survived. We must have been 17th and making good progress. Into the back of the cars ahead almost. The tyre slip on these from the retros, by the way. Very nice. Good fun. You just feel it going, and you can hold the bed, you can just power through it nicely. Ah, the 70s Monza. Many deaths. Yeah, unfortunately. In the real world, but luckily it's not so serious when it happens in here. It's rear exhaust pipes in the car ahead. Overtaken by a train of cars that time. Imagine doing all this while shifting and healing and towing at the same time as trying not to die. Well, we're doing all of that. I don't have the fear of trying not to die, but the other parts, definitely. Imagine that in real life. Ouch. Yeah, I don't think you'd even have time to say ouch. Too wide into Parabolica. It's the end of the race as well by the looks of things, so I'm not going to get these spots back, but it's going to stop them from trying. Go on, get the draft, come on. Here we go. Oh no, we've got another one. 4 wide. Excuse me, coming through. Thank you. And because the straights are so long, you can tell that the tyres are not actually keeping temperature in them, so when you get to the corners they're a little bit leery. Yeah, that second part of the Lesmos is so difficult to get right. Please be careful with me. Another wobble. Saved it. The car's feeling a little bit vague actually. Might be to do with the bump drafting. Barrier chicken. Yeah, played one too many games of that in my lifetime. Oh, they're all ganging up on me, but we managed to hold them off. And they didn't hit me either when I lifted off, so yeah, good AI. Well, a lot of flat-out action, but a lot of action that was. That was quite intense actually, I enjoyed that. So Monza 71 Grand Prix. Fun. Good fun. Monza was dangerous pre-chicane. It was. It really was. It's yeah, as I said, different times. It really is. Yeah, there you go. 24th of August 2020 at 12 o'clock. Who was asking that? Marty, you were asking that. That was our time settings. Right, so that's Monza GP 71. Now we shorten it. We go to Monza Historic 71 Junior, which is considerably slower than the Grand Prix one. So we're going to select this one. And this time, we hinted at it earlier, but the car of choice is... Okay, it's loosely from the same time. Loosely the same time. But far more leery. Because, to be honest, the Formula Retros, no problem compared to this. We're going to go the Copa Fusca around Monza Junior because frankly I think I'm just too scared to try it anywhere else. So this one I might just be able to manage it. So let's slowed in. Oh no! I've got them against the F1 cars. Let's come out and reload it. That's just going to be a recipe for disaster. Yes, Copa Fusca's the ultimate in driver training and opportunities to see the other side of the track that you weren't looking at when you entered the corner. So let's... Oh no, we're good. We're all good. We loaded the same class. So we have a full grid of Fuscas around Monza 71 Junior. The things we do on this channel to entertain you guys. Get the L plates on, Phil. Yes, I have. I should have chosen one with a novice cross on the back. Yes, the things we do in the name of entertainment. The Copa Fuscas are back. Group C cars, Formula Retros, no problem. Fuscas, no chance. We almost had death immediately. So, just like we had with the modern version of Monza Junior, except with added barriers so that you can't cut across onto the main straight. And of course all the beautiful retro banners and signage around the track as well. Don't they have an old Mini? I can't remember. Yes they do. Yes, they have a classic Mini. Rev that little Fusca air-cooled engine. It's the slow speed corners that this car really comes into its own. High speed stuff you can just about get away with as long as it's flat. When it comes to trying to take these corners, which are a little bit slower, actually everyone's keeping up to the right side here. They probably should do too. Somehow we survived turn 1 despite braking 10 miles too late. This thing constantly wants to kill you. The centre of gravity in those things is about 10 metres in front of the car. It feels like it, it really does. So although this layout is, on paper, very similar to that of the modern version of Monza Junior, it is actually quite different in terms of how you can drive the circuit. So the main difference is turn 1, much tighter entry to turn 1 as it would be in the more modern version, where you can go right out to the left hand side there and then bring it back in. This one, you have a bit of a curve there, so you have to keep it inside that, otherwise I think it's going to be game over. Too busy looking for the curve and not my braking point. And then the other main change, or difference, being the rather inviting barrier on the exit of this right-hander right there. They are adorable. Yes, they are. Carrots, what the heck are these? They are beetles. We're in some beetles having some fun around Monza Junior 71. Never tried them in AMS2 racing. Yeah, they're quite an experience. It's worth a try. But please don't sue me if you try them and crash, because it happens. These cars are what I would like to call unique in their driving experience. So we've had a look at the circuit. Let's go back to the pits, skip to the end, and throw ourselves into the race, of which it's decided to put me out on pole. Okay. Well, probably the best place for me, to be honest. Helps if you're in the right gear for the start. And even though we're on a rolling start and everyone should be keeping pace, come back. Okay, now we're going to run. As the ultimate start dummy, we'll go off and then we'll catch up when everyone has to lift off. Dangerously messing with the curb on the inside then. That could have been a turtle moment in a very turtle looking car. Okay, we can do this. It's just another car. It's nothing to be afraid of, it's nothing to worry about, no to fear. It's just a beetle. Okay? So we can do this. Let's try and master the Fusca. Right. Down to parabolic, here we go. It appears the AI are a little bit slow around here with the Fusca. I'm very fond of the AMS2 Passat. Yeah, none of the hot cars and things are quite fun to drive, and the old Cobra Classics. You know what? For your guys' sake, I'm going to restart this, and I'm going to drop back to the rear and then come through, because it seems that in this case we're going to be driving off the distance, which isn't going to be half the fun of driving these cars. So we're going to pull over up here at turn 1, and let car 3422 disappear off into the distance. Right, off we go. Don't come aim for me. No! Go away. Right. Look at that. It's almost 6 wide into the first corner as chaos ensues. Well, that's brave, get on that curb. Right, now we have a job on our hands to try and come back to the field. How many can we pick up before the end? We've got 10 minutes. Can we make it through to the top 10, the top 5, the top 3? Could we even win it? Put your answers in now and we'll see how we go towards the end. Bearing in mind that there's still 10 minutes for me to absolutely bin this thing in its own unique way. We've got one. There's a Mark 1 Ford car endurance jumps in the UK. Yes, there is a Enduro car, or an Enduro car, depending on how you say it. Quite a big grid on those as well. Passengers have to be planned 3 days in advance. Hard on the brakes, not going to dive bomb you. Do this properly. Ooh, there's the rear end. It's obviously being rear engined, there's a bit of weight over the rear of the car. But don't let that fool you. There's the stick back of grip, even though there's the weight there. And all that weight, when it goes sideways, it tends to keep going sideways. Because there's nothing stopping it from coming back. There's a bit of a flinch from the riser car ahead of us then. There we go, almost. Well, what I will say, I think they've changed something. Because although we're going sideways, I'm actually able to save it, whereas before, that would be it, would be gone. So maybe the tyre slip angles have been improved, that'd be nice. Doesn't mean it's going to be completely planted and have no problems. It's still going to be just as lively as it was, but a little bit more catchable. Yeah, the 25 hours of Spa Fun Cup is always a fun race. You've seen that, haven't you, Gaz? The Fun Cup, yeah, it goes all throughout the UK. Yeah, they go over to Spa and do 25 hours, just because 24 is just not enough. Can't really call them Beetles, even though they have a Beetle space frame body. Oh. I'm just warming up my left-hand rear tyre just to make sure we have that grip available for when we need it. Here we go, 3 wide in front of us. That was a close call with the blue carbon barrier on the outside. There's room for a Beetle there. Let's see if we can fit ours in there. Here we go. Well, we're knocking on the door of the top 10, and we've still got 6 minutes worth of trying to keep this car on track. Just got to be super gentle with the inputs, no nasty surprises. Yeah, 4 wide of Beau Rouge. Some of them have got sequential gearboxes as well, so they're quite advanced. Technology in some cases. Central driving position as well, which is a bit fun. Yes, Fun Cup. Okay, lean it in, don't try and throw it around, just be super smooth. The state of this one on our left here, it's rusty. Very good. Now we're in P11. There's the brake lights all light up in front of us. Oh, hello. Nearly. Rusty's got us again. At least with this one, you know the width of the car, as opposed to the Formula Retros, where you don't quite know how wide the rear end is. This is all the same. Perfect for slotting into small gaps, which you wouldn't normally go for. Dear me. I am pleased, though, that despite my inability to drive this car without backing it into corners, I'm able to kind of gather it up a little bit, which is quite comforting because it will happen again, I'm sure. So a bit of a block on me on the inside. Excuse me, dive bomb coming. Cut on the inside there, using all the road a little bit more. So now we're inside the top 10. We've made that first target. We get top 5 on the win. We've got 3 minutes 42 to go. Right, this time nice and smooth on the way in. Don't try and make it do something it's not wanting to do. Drive it out. Yeah, can that Fusca drift down? Yes. Well, we said we were going to try and master the Fusca. That's P6. Jump to P5 here, hopefully into the first corner. Feed it in gently. Power out. So there we go, top 5. I think most of our problem when driving these cars is we've driven something else incredibly different to start off with, and then think we can drive this in the same manner, which you really just can't. So Marty says, my brother had a 70s VW Beetle. I don't know the exact year, it's passenger. If you dangle your feet, you feel the open road. No floor on the passenger side. Is that because it rusted away? Ooh. One day when I'm rich, this race, someone will have a wheel unit to match all these different cars. I know, it does feel a bit odd having a Formula Road driving one of these. I think our advantage on this track lies in our straight line speed. We seem to be unfairly quick in the straight line. Either that or it's my superior traction off the preceding corner. Probably not. And all of a sudden, we go from last to almost last again. So good at doing that. So good at putting the knockers on my own race. I guarantee it'll happen at least once a string. Not today. Now it's just a case of just nice and easily easing it through to the finish. We've only got a minute and 10 to survive. We have the pace advantage on the other guys. We just need to keep it going in the right direction, and everything will be well with the world. And we will have put our Fusca demons to bed. Right, 250 board. Brake way too early. Okay. Still need a little bit more confident with getting the rear end out. Yeah, definitely. 30 seconds to make it to the line. I don't think we will with the sheer pace that the Beetle's got. So this could well be the end of the race. We've made it all the way through to hopefully finishing first if we can get just one more corner correct. Just being extra careful just to make sure that I did get through there in one piece. So there we go, the clock is ticking down. Approach the line, we should be seeing a checkered flag. Wherever the line is, here it is. And there we go. So, okay, the AI were a little bit slower on that particular occasion. We haven't changed the setting on them, so just a bit of variance between the different types of cars. So, with the AI turned up, you can probably have a pretty good race around there, and obviously in online mode when we have other people trying to control this absolute brute of a car. It could be a good fun race around here. First to last in the Trusker. Thanks, Phil. I just lost a large bet now. Sorry, Frankie. Oh dear. Well, that was fun. So that's Monza Junior, 1971 version. So, there are 2 more versions to go. Both of them very, very similar. One just has the addition of a chicane. So we're going to go take on the full 10K version of Monza Historic. We're going to start off with the chicane one, and then we're going to let loose for the final one, which is the no chicane version. So, for this particular occasion, did someone mention earlier about... Oh, it's a Lotus 79, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, I was going to do a Lotus as well, but we've got to do its earlier cousin, the 49C. Beautiful Formula 1 car. Because although this is... Well, it's kind of early 70s, I suppose, so it is kind of in the right era. We need to change our date, don't we? So let's move this forward to... Let's try November this time. See what the date's like. And same class, yep, that's what we want. Excuse me. Yeah, so this one then. This is quite a big difference to the regular Monzas we've been driving up until now, because now we get to experience the banking, which is, yeah, it's going to be an interesting experience, especially with the chicanes. I'm not quite sure where or how they're going to be marked off. I don't know whether there's going to be tyre bundles or solid walls I'm going to have to look out for. So we will experience this together. I've not driven this one yet. So here we go. We're back into autumnal colours. You love this car, Racer. Yeah, it's a beauty. Absolutely stunning car. So not quite wingless. We have some... Ooh, hello. Ooh, wow, so... Oh, the chicane is very permanent. Okay. If anything, it's harder to get the power down as you're coming onto the banking. So here we go. Down the banking we go. Such an angle, and then into the sun with the sun glare as well. Will it bottom out, says Marcy. We'll have to watch when we go on the next banking. We'll have a look out the back and see some sparks. I think it probably will. Oh, uh-oh. I've already forgotten. I just creased my one of my favourite F1 cars. Let's go back to the box. Because somebody forgot that there was a chicane there. And no one reminded me. I got so carried away with driving this car that I forgot about the chicanes. Right. Oh, that's not easy to see, is it, at all? You got a little bit of a banner over the top of the circuit pointing an arrow and a bail on the inside. Right. So even with the chicanes, you can still get up to a rather high top speed, so now we get to enjoy that beautiful sun flare once again. So, where do we brake for this next one? Where do we dare? So the tune aboard there. I dare say that's a little late, which it is. Okay. Brake earlier next time. But at least this time, we didn't take out somebody else. Up and around the second part of the banking. Try not to end up easing up into the barrier on the outside there. Very easy to do. Chicane. I didn't see one. Did you? Did you see one? I didn't see one. Right, now we're back onto the 70 circuit as we drove earlier. And as we drove earlier in the Formula Retro, this first corner was flat out. However, with the radial tyres that were running in the Lotus 49, flat out it certainly isn't. Look at the colours coming into Lesmo 1. Oh, and the sun just poking through the hole in the trees there. Now we have the sun behind us as we blast down it's normally the back straight. We're going to be flat up through here, or a little bit of a confidence lift, but it's the fast version of Inscari, and down towards Parabolica. Got to remember the braking distances are significantly longer. Right, now the track is marked off, so we have the other guys going through the main GP loop, and then we're coned off, so we have to go onto the banking once again, pick out somewhere where the chicane is. It's super tight. With big curves on the inside, just kind of making sure you don't hit those. The seasonal photo is just great, isn't it? It looks so good. And with the clouds moving as well, they're in different positions every time you come around. It's pretty bumpy. And I got the force feedback turned down ever so slightly. I've been on homemade skateboard around smoother than that banking. Love it. Right, brakes. Well, I didn't notice where I broke then, but it was about right. So the chicanes are placed just before the actual banking kicks in, out of safety more than anything else, I reckon. So you're not hitting the banking at full speed. Okay, so that's the circuit. And as we've done all evening, it's time to just throw ourselves right into the race. And hope we don't rear end any more precious single-seaters. Starting position wise, we're at the back, so I'm going to pick up our braking points, hopefully from other people, or use them if we don't get it right. Yeah, okay. So here we go. Into the daylight now. Once again, looking the right gear for the rolling start. So we're starting off on the Grand Prix circuit, with the suspension moving around in front of us. I'm looking forward to seeing that on the banking, actually. Watching the suspension arms going up and down over the bumps, because you can just see everything with these cars. Drive shaft spinning around as well. Okay, we've got double brakes just to make sure we survive turn 1. So good seeing a full grid of beautiful single-seaters in front of us. We'll run out of there. This would be fun in the rain, says Aid. Your definition of fun, Aid, I'm worried. But yes, it would be. Cheers, Martin. Oop. No, don't run off, don't run off, don't run off. I'm off. Right. Let's try and get this back on, shall we? Return to the race in 22nd position. Yeah, I'll try my best. Let's try and get on the track first, shall we? Okay, well we have some work to do. Hopefully we can make up some time in the super slow chicanes. It's too deep into the parabolica, which is never going to be recoverable. Oh, spotting this chicane is just the hardest thing. Okay, it's drift mode as we go through the chicane. Right, someone wanted to see if we're bottoming out. Are we bottoming out? Oh, yes. Just about. A few sparks coming out the back. Okay, brake there. No, it needs to brake further back. Probably about the 250 board. Yeah, I know. Unsportsmanlike. It's not of my nature. Didn't mean to do it. Honest. So yeah, we need to brake a lot further back. Probably 250 board. Because they're so small and not the easiest of colours to make out, it's quite difficult to see what you're aiming for and where to brake into there. So quite the challenge. And this is quite a long lap with the oval and the main Grand Prix circuit as well. So double brakes into turn 1, going to even go down to 4th just to make sure we get the drive off. Just balance the car through there, very nice. Okay, braking for let's move 1. So good. Not so good. The rough with the smooth with the last 2 corners there. So yes, it is flat out through Ascari, even in this older machinery. So we seem to be gaining on the cars ahead, ever so slightly. Let's see if we can keep that momentum coming our direction. It's so difficult getting the power down with this thing. Down to first gear and apply a panic brake at the end just to make sure you get it stopped. Oh dear, this is not a particularly enjoyable layout, I have to be honest, but nevertheless it's obviously essential to have in the sim because that's the period. This is the Lotus 49C, which is hidden in the Formula Vintage Gen 2 category. It's yeah, it's a bit of a beauty. Right, on the brakes, because last time you missed the chicane, Phil. Here we go. Understeer. Okay. We made it through. Raw McRib helmet. Welcome along. Yes, it is the Lotus 49C. Good to have you with us, Raw. There it is. That's that tendency to kind of wash up the banking there is almost a case of dipping into that barrier on the outside. But managed to catch it just in time and bring it back down the banking. Right, so once again, brake 200 board-ish, down to 4th, get the car settled, and plough headfirst into the barrier. Well, safe to say, this combination has defeated us in this case. So that chicane version, not a fan. However, again, can't fault the quality of the circuit. The details, the banners, the marker boards and things, exactly as you probably would expect to find them in real life. So Okay, so that's there. Probably not going to be used very much, I'll be honest. Not many people are going to run that particular layout, I can imagine. What they are going to run is the no chicane version, which is what we're going to do now. Now, up until now, we've been fairly modest with what we've been choosing for cars and the car combos on the track, and we've kind of been sticking with period-specific cars, which work well with that particular track. Not so much now, because this is going to be an all-in race. So we're going to be going the flat-out, mad, no hold barred, no nasty chicanes version of Monza 71, and we're going to throw everything at it. So before I choose what car I'm going to go, we're going to go multi-class, and we're going to choose what cars we're going to throw in here. So first on the list, obviously, is the Cobra trucks, because they never race there, but they will now. We're going to need some karts in there as well, so I'm going to put the GX390 kart in there, the Honda Power. Not the lowest of the low, but give them a fighting chance. What else can we put in here? Let's add some GT1s. Let's add some Formula Ultimates. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Formula Ultimates got to be in there. Got to go slowest to fastest. I reckon some Caterham Superlights on the grid. I can't watch this, Marty. Oh, you better had. It's going to be fun. What else can we put in here? Pro cars. Pro cars can be on the list. What else should we do? 60s touring cars. So we have the Minis, some of the old Corvettes, and the Lotus 23. Thinking, trying to get the numbers right. Formula Classic Gen 1 with full turbo boost. We've got space, I'm sure we can add them in. Formula Classic Gen 1 street cars. Yeah, why not? They don't feature very often in these races, and we'll throw those on there as well. So we've got the ridiculously fast McLaren F1 in there as well. So yeah, good luck on the banking. How many spaces have you got? Okay, so that is our 10. So save that. The issue is now, what car do we go? So that's our list of options. What are we going to go with? I hope Monza has some good insurance cover. Yes, it's going to need it. I don't think the premiums are going to be payable even by Bernie. DTM, yeah, the DTM cars would be good to get on there. We've got the Formula Vintages on. Oh yeah, that's what we're on now, isn't it? So yeah, we can change whatever we're going to go. DTM, yeah, maybe we go DTM. Good call, Aid. Let's do that. So, Merc or BM? Merc or BM? Ambulance services, yeah, hopefully they got plenty of them on supply. We'll make sure the weather's clear so the helicopter can take off, otherwise we can't race. Because we're mixing our eras of safety. Let's go with the Merc. Let's go with the Merc. What could possibly go wrong? Absolutely. You're getting the sim racing Bible philosophy there, Racing. That's exactly how things work on this channel. What could possibly go wrong? This is just going to be perfect. No issues. DTM cars are gearing limited, not fun to drive here. Ah, okay. That's a good shout. What if, can we not even, if we raise the final drives, it's still going to be a gear limited issue. But I think most cars are around here, apart from maybe the Group C's. BMW, says Gaz. The Pro cars. That could be fun. Ah, so many choices, so many choices. Well, what we'll do, okay, because this is going to be fun, I reckon we do this twice. So we'll run the DTMs, see how we get on, and then for the next one we'll run a different one and we'll swap up the car choices as well. How about that? We'll do that. That could be good. Okay, so cars locked in, and yeah, so wish us luck. Oh dear, the things we do. In 71 it was... oh, I can't quite read that because of the overlay not being strong enough. But I shall catch up with that moment, Marty, in just a second. It's busy loading in the car choice and saying, what are you doing? Okay, so in 71 it was just a guy in a truck that might scrape off the track. Yeah, there was not a great deal of safety being considered. So there we go. You can hear the roar of four-stroke Honda engines in their little carts as they head out to set a qualifying lap. Oh boy, this is interesting. So let's go to the garage. Let's... such a cacophony of sounds. Very different cars, very different noises. Drivetrain, that's what we want. Fun drive. Give me the most you've got. Oh, listen to that. Okay, let's go out and join them in our Mercedes. Pretty much the last out on track apart from that poor little Mini who decided I'll let them go. This damn great Lorra's going to get around the banking. You'll be surprised, Tracer, you'll be surprised. It is possible. Beautiful, naturally aspirated touring car engine sounds coming from the Mercedes. Ah yes, for the next one we were going to go back to winter mode as well. Are there any drivers from the trucks? I don't think they were they weren't the first pick. There we go, up to 5th gear. Oh, we got plenty of revs involved. Oh, look out! Just going to avoid the cart. Trucks might collapse the bank. Yeah, it's not the strongest thing, and those trucks are rather heavy. Thankfully, we haven't got a full grid of them. Otherwise, yeah, we could be in for a repair bill. Yes, you can. You can change the final gear, which is probably just as well. You've probably gone a bit too far with it because we're not even maxing it out now. Here we go. Slipstream this caterer. Interesting to see where we sit in terms of overall speed. Happily going past the caterer super. Like now we've got the truck in front of us who's having a bit of a moment. To the first corner. It's through. Now the thing is, those trucks are actually incredibly quick in a straight line. Which you wouldn't necessarily think. This is where we make up for the lack of cornering ability. Oh, the sunshine through the trees. Epic. This time of day and the autumn trees just makes Monza look so good. So I think we are going to be mostly flat out. As we spoke about earlier on, probably the main thing here is remembering that there are brakes attached to the car and that we will need them at some point. One of those moments being down here. And yes, I need to brake much earlier than that. And now I've got to build all that speed once again. Without being squashed by a truck. That was not the opportune time to look in the mirror. When you got one of these things bearing down on you. Back onto the banking we go. See, look at the straight line speed of that truck. Ridiculous. The high line. The sun comes through. Lovely solar flare. So bumpy. There's the truck. At least on this version we don't have to worry about where on earth we brake for the chicane, which is just there. Thankfully, not of our concern this time round. So I wonder when we're going to have a Formula Ultimate come past us. Okay, so pretty much flat out as we'd imagine. So let's jump into the race and just let it all loose. So we go back to the pits, skip to the end, and we're going to be starting where? Where does it put us? Oh, plumb last, of course. Brakes will be cold as well, yes, everything will be cold other than the engine. Excuse me. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag, shall we say. I would be curious to see, I mean, they obviously didn't have a chance to set a lap time because the Formula Ultimates are starting mid-grid, so 2 laps and spine damage. Oh, we're behind the truck. Don't run into the back of it. Oh, it sucks if you're in that line. There's another cart holding everyone up. Now they can all get past them, hopefully. Look at this mixture of cars. Which way are you going? Oh, that way. This truck's stuck behind a Mini. Right, come on. Let's go. Run, little Mini. Okay, let's see if those quicker cars can get through the slower ones and try and catch us up. A bit of a slide through there. Nicely done. How on earth did the cruisy car qualify behind the car? I don't know. I don't think it actually took qualifying into account. Usually we put it in, well, before the patch anyway, they would do it in fastest to slowest order because the McLaren F1. That's so cool. Then it's stuck behind the supercars. So I'm just gonna well, I thought I was just going to breeze past him, but he decided to pull out at the very last minute. Have you done, says Marcy. I don't know. Now the banking comes. Ah, we've got a high boost Formula 1 car behind us. Wacky races. That's what we do best on this channel. We love doing these crazy setups. There goes another F1 car. It's been released from behind a cart. On a Mercedes GT1 as well. That doesn't look comfortable, does it? The Ultima as well. Saw one of those go past the house the other day, actually. Don't see them on the road very often, but did see one. In a similar colour to that as well, actually. It's bright yellow. I see brake lights, which means the Ultima's caught up with something that's a little bit quicker then. We have another Group A Mercedes ahead of us here, so with our superior top speed, hopefully we should be able to get past it. Tell you what, if you're running a direct drive wheel around the banking, you've got to make sure you turn that force feedback down, because that would just be arm wrench. I got it turned down a little bit just to make sure I don't rip my desk in two. You can still feel the judders as it goes over the bumps. There we go, we are gaining on the Merc. To go down to 4th, I think. So what have we got ahead of us there as well? We're catching up with something else. The Ultimates are, they're really quick in a straight line. Oh, it's an E30 we're catching up with. So we've got a bit of a Group A DTM battle going on here. acceleration's better than mine. We'll get it back later. Use the advantage of his slipstream. Aha! See, I have an extra gear that you don't, and an extra load of push understeer that I wasn't expecting. We're just testing the barriers out. We're doing some beta testing for riser, making sure there's no holes in the barriers, and I can safely report that there aren't. They're actually quite solid. Right, back on track. And we'll keep over to the right just in case there's some rather quick cars coming through. No, we're okay. What base are you running? I'm running the CSW. It's a 2.5 running actually inside a V2 shell. So we went back to Fanatec at some point and they upgraded the internals to make it a V2.5. So that's the force field that we're running is based around that particular model. So I turned it down only because I have a frozen shoulder, so at the time it was rather painful to drive, so I turned it down the force feedback to make it a little bit more bearable, and it's getting better now, so it's not too bad, but it's just at the right kind of level really, just to not make it too difficult. Catching up with this catering that managed to get past us when we had our moment. Thai Racing would say, you have wheel damage. Yes, I would definitely have had wheel damage after that, probably a little bit more. Blue flag. What have we got? We've got one of the Formula Ultimates coming through, presumably. Oh, there's a cart. That way. Well, I did have blue flags. Not quite sure where he went. Unless, of course, it's picking up the cars on the oval on the inside, maybe. There's nothing really behind me at the moment. Getting blue flags now. Again, nothing behind me. I think the layout's playing havoc with the flag system. Eventually got it turned in. The Lesmo one. Really confused, isn't it? There's nothing there. Soon enough though, I expect we probably will have one of the faster Formula cars coming up for lapping. Because although we're going along at a reasonable pace, it's certainly not going to be anywhere near as much as the other cars. Here he comes. That's where you're going to go. I'll let you go through on the right. Be gentle. How far the braking distances need to be turning in. So they know there's an issue with that. In terms of the internals of the wheel, you mean? Yeah, I can't remember what the issue was. I think there was something wrong with the board originally. I got this wheel second hand. It's not my wheelbase from brand new. Got it off Gareth actually in the chat. So it went back, and I can't remember exactly what it went back for. I think it was something to do with the electronics which went wrong. And they said that the V2s are a stronger board and better internals, so. But I've had no problems with it. So we put a bit of use into it as well. So it's been okay. It's been working fine, and the feedback's still good. And this is a good test for it, around the banking. A minute and 23 to go. And we're probably going to... this lap now. This will be our last one, I would have thought. Everyone's going to disappear. There's the Ultima going for the banking. Anyone else coming behind me? I think I have one other car coming to lap me. We'll go a slightly quicker car for this next one. Yeah, the blue flag issues a track position bug. Yeah, it is, but I've also got blue flags now. So there goes the former Ultimate. By the sounds of it, I may have some damage after my off, which I wouldn't be surprised about because it's it was a rather big off, but certainly right, there sounds like a bit of a flat tyre feeling going on. But yeah, so now we have time to actually think about it because we're spending most of the lap flat out. What do we think of Monza for AMS2? Well, I really like it, and that's coming from someone who isn't normally a fan of Monza. Pick of the bunch for me, it's got to be 91. That's the circuit layout, which for me has the best flow, and it's probably the most fun to drive as well. Really like it. The look of the track, you know, the little details, absolutely outstanding. It just looks so good. And the actual driving of it as well. Okay, it's got its unique characteristics in terms of its long straights and occasional chicanes, or in this case, no chicanes at all, just flat out. But it's still really good in terms of the driving experience. Because you can move the cart here, it's going to be zapping past on the inside. Take the high side on this one. Even with his helmet on, that would have had a rush of wind through his hair. Would have blown it clean off if he didn't have much left. So the time has run out, but we didn't get the end result there. But I'm going to call that because I'm not going to do another lap flat out like that. Right. Well, that was interesting. So let's try this track and grid at 200% damage challenge. Is that a challenge, racer? Should we do that? Alright. That's opponent settings. Where do we race settings? Where do we set the damage on this? Why am I missing this? Oh, I got it very wrong. Do you set it in? Don't set it in there. Right, okay, well we'll look at that in a moment. Let's clear our vehicle classes, and we'll throw some other cars into the mix this time. So let's put something different on there. So we didn't have minis last time, so we'll put some minis on. We'll have some modern GTs, we'll have some GT3s. We'll put the Group C cars on because we didn't have them last time. We'll put the some slightly faster karts in this time. Where are they gone? Super karts can go in. Super V8s, we'll put those on. Try and keep this as different as we can. We'll put some faster formulas on. We'll put the Formula Riser on this time rather than the Ultimate. What else can we do? F3s maybe, some Formula Unos, and how many have we got left? We've got one more class we can add in. So let's make it a good one. We'll put in. We have the Pro cars, and I didn't see any of them that whole race. Well, let's put in some stock cars, shall we? We haven't had any stock cars in there, so we'll put the 2021 stock cars in. And then we'll select whatever car we're going to run. So, put aggression, put a number. Where do we do the damage? Do I have to do that in the options mode? Go back to options. Gameplay. Damage scaling. Ah, there we go. Damage is off, so... Okay, full damage is on. And we'll do it at 200%. There we go. Oh dear. What are we doing? Right. So, we need to choose our car. So, we said we're going to go something faster. So, what can we do? Well, actually, someone mentioned the Lotus 79 earlier, so should we do that? Go Lotus 79. There we go. We get almost the full pick of Lotus F1 cars in. Does any other sim allow this madness without mods? You can do similar levels of madness in Race Room with the different cars, but they don't quite go down to the level of karts up to trucks. So I think this is probably the most variety you can get in a standard base sim content game. So yeah, Lotus 79 it is. Now the challenge is finishing this, so I can't go mad on the first lap. I've got to be aware of the other cars, and yeah, basically keep it out of the wall, I think, is all we can imagine to do on this one. We've got wide slicks on the rear, so yeah, who knows what's going to happen here. It's going to be bits of dead car flying everywhere, bits of Lotus most likely. Everyone else is probably going to keep it fairly straightforward and standard, but I'm going to be shedding aero like nothing. Picking the car with the absolute lowest ground clearance, your funeral. Yep. Yep. And to make matters worse, we're not even going to bother going out to test it out. We're just going to go straight into the race, because that's what we do. Simulated session. Group C cars from the risers up front. From the retros up there. Super V8s are up there as well, apparently. Supercarts mixing in with everyone. Okay. Butt scraping, yes, there will be plenty of that. Do the Formula Classic Gen 1. It passes the 410km mark. Oh man. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? Try to stay at the bottom of the oval banking is all I can say. Oh dear. So, we are thankfully at the back. So we can pick our way through gently. Looks like I've got a banger racer next to me. This thoroughbred Formula 1 car up against... Where's he gone? My little Formula Uno behind me. Right. No practice. And we have full damage. We're going to let loose any second now. Almost lost the front wing. Hey Nemesis, how are you doing? Okay, we're going to pick our way through here gently. So now we've got downforce, so this first corner should be nice and flat. Obviously when you haven't got an enormous mini in front of you. Look at that for a sight. Come on, one of you overtake somewhere so we can get through. Please don't squash me, Mini. Oh, we didn't put winter mode back on, but never mind. Autumn is just as good. Look at that supercar harrying the stock car. It's a risk you just had to take right there. Okay, we're up to, where are we, P12. Pass out through here, and then probably going to meet this supercar part way around. There it is. Missed. Okay, now we can be a little bit more assertive with our overtaking manoeuvres, because we have the space to do so. Just being a bit gentle into final chicane, just because I don't want to break it straight away. So we've got GT3 Merc ahead of us. We're about to head onto the banking for the first time with 200% damage and no ground clearance. This looks mental, all those different cars. It is a little bit mad, isn't it? Oh, we got scrapage, and the car is moving around uncontrollably. Fireworks out the back from the M6 GT3 in front of us. Use all the aero from that brick. Thank you very much. Giving the AI a workout. Yeah, it certainly is. Lots of calculations being taken on to figure out what on earth's going on. Well, if I have a seat left at the end of this, then we'll be doing well. You don't see this in IMSA. No, you do not. This is not your standard IMSA territory. And with the Lotus 79, of course, it's active aero, so it pushes the body down. It's a floating body Lotus. So when you have fast corners like this, the body of the car is pushed even lower into the ground and just provides so much suction and downforce. Incredible. Right, brakes. What were they again? That was the middle pedal, that's right. It's all cleared by the 1970s Monza Health and Safety Board. Yeah, of course it was. Got the paperwork to prove it. It's down here in my book. Wild ride. So we've got some other cars up ahead of us here which we're catching up with. I think these might be the Super V8s. Maybe. Yeah, looks like it. Just being gentle at the moment with inputs because I don't want to touch a blade of grass and lose my front wheel. There's a car in the pits there, so they've had a bit of a moment. The F1 cars. Well, one spot for us. To the banking we go once again. Literally hopping from joint to joint in the concrete and pushing me back down the hill. That's crazy. I kind of want some 30s pre-war stuff going on. Drive around the banking kind of Brooklyn style. That would be really fun. Some big Bentley blowers or ERA type Bs or something like that. Alfa Romeo 8Cs. That'd be fun. With their raw power and their tiny skinny little tyres. We're only 5 minutes into this race somehow. Poor DFE is getting an absolute workout. High revs constantly. When you get to the higher downforce cars like this version of Monza is not so much of a challenge, but more just an exercise in bravery, really. Keeping pinned everywhere. Right, we're catching up with these Super V8s in front of us now. There's one of the Formula cars in front as well, so we'll see if we can get in the mix with that. Slipstream going. The supercars look so big compared to this thing. Catapult off the corner. There we go, leave them to their own battle. I've just noticed the position counter was actually having a bit of a fit as well. So we were showing first overall, first in class, and now we jumped to 14th in class and third. Sorry, third in class and 15th overall, right? V8 go? What? They got some straight line speed, haven't they? Just into this little gap here. Catching up with one of the other Formula Retros in front of us. Take the low line this time. They're all very bouncy. What the fan cars like around here, the Brabham. Oh, where are you going? Hang on. It's like the V8 trying to come through the middle of us. The F3 cars going to the banking. Oh no, we've got slower cars coming over. We're too wide with the Super V8s. Not anymore. Cleared them. Keep it pinned and hope for the best. There's the fan car. There we go, making up some spots in class. And third gear. Gets a chance to show us what it can do. Yeah, the AI are doing really well. To be fair, they are doing a good, solid job. I mean, obviously they're getting a bit caught up with the slower class cars, but in general they're quite well behaved. Not doing anything silly or out of the ordinary, and they're having a go at trying to get past us as well, which is quite good. So rather than just being coming up behind us and just kind of being stuck there, actually having a go at trying to re-overtake us, which is nice to see. Minute 46 to go in the race. We have the Formula Riser cars coming through now, actually. There's been some serious straight line speed difference compared to this. Back on the high line we are. Towers on the top of the banking. Oh, there he goes. Screaming V8. Move me along. The revs pick up, we're up to 304, 305, 6. That's a lot quicker around the banking than normal. Yeah, expected a bit more chaos. Yeah, no, there's so much variety, but they've actually been able to control themselves reasonably well. So I wonder whether that Formula Riser car is actually not lapping us, because it's not that much quicker than us. Except it probably is through this section. Yeah, that's where the speed difference is. So much quicker than there. The Brabham behind us there. Imagine the downforce generated on that banking, yeah, it must be enormous. But then, maybe not actually, because of the uneven surface, it's not capturing the air quite as much as it would do on a smooth surface, so at times it might be monumental, but at other times it must be very little. That's the sound of the mechanic quitting. Yeah, definitely a rebuild needed after this one. Both the engine and the chassis. So in theory we should be coming up to across the line for the final time this time round after we come off the bank. Tell you what, it's, if you get all the cars the same, and you actually end up having a full grid of cars doing a similar speed around here, it'll probably make for some pretty mad racing. I know we've mixed things up with the class as a success, really. Yeah. Fine. I'm calling at the end of the race, even though it's not giving me that. My ears will not take another lap of that DFV at full screen. So, okay. That's properly cool. I'm impressed. So the guys at Rise have done a really good job of putting this pack out and creating it and all the artwork that's gone into it. What I'm going to do, just for a moment, is I'm going to go back into winter. We've tried all the individual circuits now, so that's all of them. That's included in the pack. We've done some mad things with the AI. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 71 circuit. And we're just going to take a car out and park it up somewhere. We're going to get out of the car into the replay mode and just have a look around and just go explore some of the scenery. So it's going to take any sort of car out here or something that we can actually get around in a semi-decent time. We're going to just take one of these, take the Ginetta. So we're going to have a look around, because what we'd like to do with our track reviews is not just show you what it's like to drive on track, but also some of the areas you might not get to see. And I think with the 71 layout, with the unique kind of setting and all the historic surroundings, I think it's be interesting to see if there's any extra little hidden bits in here which we can see. Any snow. Well, earlier on when we ran the winter mode, I can't remember where it was it the 91? No, it wasn't the 91, was it? I can't remember where it was when we ran it, but there was snow on the hills in the distance. The pack curves are going to be nuts in VR. Yes, they will. Welcome, Salsa Catcher, by the way. Good to have you with us. So, we're not doing a race here, we're just simply going to go. I've got the AII cars on again. We're just going to go and park up. There's the snow in the distance on the mountains. Okay. So, let's go and park it up there. Let's go into the replay. And I'll bring my keyboard over so I can actually drive this camera around a bit. So, leave the car park there, go into photo mode, because that's the only way we can do it on AMS2, is put the shutter speed right up. Okay, so let's go and see what we can see, if anything, if the camera will allow us. Let's go up over the top there. So turn off the UI so you can see this properly. There we go. So that's the paddock section. Got some old kind of hangar-looking buildings over there in the middle. Got the tunnel going underneath the track here. There we go. Look at the view in the distance with the mountains and the snow. Very, very cool. Be too much for your brain to handle VR on the banking. Yeah, it probably would. It does work well in AMS2, though, I've heard. It would be a thrill and a half, yeah, no kidding. It'll be, I mean, the fact that it convinces you to reach out and try and touch the buttons or the controls on the dashboard, you know, that kind of immersion is just incredible. That's the main grandstand building there, very nice. What else have we got? So this is what I love about the old circuits. It's the same with Goodwood as well. You've got the access to stand above the garages here and just be right above the action. So you've got the spectators looking on there. Okay, that's our limit of where we can go on that camera, so that's what we'll do. We'll get round a bit further to the parabolica and have a look there. Let's the signposts really do stand out even more in the winter time because of the lack of foliage on the trees. GT3 giving me a terrible time behind. well, the run up to the Lesmo, as you can see the wall on the left there, which you couldn't really see too much of when the bushes were in full bloom. There's a lot more open going through there than it would normally be. So let's just pause ourselves there a moment. Get ourselves back around. Shame you can't just skip straight forward to where you want to go. There's some weird sounds before we get to the point we want to look at. So let's have a look here for a moment. Let's turn our shutter speed right off so we get not so much blur going on. I mean, it's not the sight you would expect to see at Monza in 1971. So what have we got? Can we see? Let's change the focus distances so we can see into the distance. Not much out there really. Yeah, obviously a lot of that would normally be hidden by trees and things, but yeah, this let's see if we can actually get anywhere near this grandstand there. We can't get into it. Or can we? Oh, we can. Brilliant. There you go. This is the view we'd get from this particular grandstand as they come around there. I mean, imagine being sat there, looking at that. So you get them coming out of, well, not that person's head, but you get them see him broad sideways coming out of Lesmo 1, and then firing towards you at ridiculous speeds, and then sweeping round all the way through there, and then firing off down the straight. That must be a really cool view. They don't have a grandstand at Lesmo 2 anymore, which is a shame, because that'd be a really cool thing to see, but you'd have to be so far back just because of the speeds involved these days. So yeah, very interesting. Okay, let's carry on down the straight. Boxed in by all these various cars. Okay, let's pause there for a moment, and then once again we've got to wait for the car to get around to where we want it to be. A few buildings over to the left hand side there, but a fair way off in the distance. Down the straight. Right, let's pause it there. Let's have a look. Turn the shutter speed down again. So let's have a look over this fence then. So that's the back end of those buildings. I don't know if they're there in the modern version actually, but they're quite cool. And of course we've got these awesome signs here with the sun glaring through them. Golf sign, very iconic colours and design in motorsport. The Shell logo. Very limited in terms of what you can actually go out and see in the free roam cameras on AMS2, but that's okay. It's not too bad. And then just the last thing we want to see is the parabolica. Go and explore the back of the signs there. On the back of the Mercedes, one of the two. Oh, yes, of course I've damaged it. We've got 2% damage on. Okay. So again, we'll let it play through. This time we'll play it through in real time. Yeah, the AI was playing quite nicely there as well. I mean, we had a mixture of different cars, and I was caught right in the middle of it. And yeah, it was working reasonably well. So we've got that nice hazy mist, the low-level stuff in the mornings you get around all of these circuits at this time of day. Stuttering moments. The GT3 desperate to get past. Oh, look at that through the haze there. Very odd seeing modern GT cars around old Monza. It's going for an ambitious move up the inside, that second Mercedes. That's where I all got a little bit close for comfort. It's close. It's all close driving. It's all reasonably well behaved. Okay, down into the parabolica then. Again, the lighting on the car is just so cool. Right, hey, pause it there. Right, it's camera mode then. Let's. Of course, we need to be in chase mode, so we can do that. Let's get this right. Here we go. Right. Let's turn the shutter speed up again. These are huge, aren't they? These boards, absolutely enormous. Zoom out a bit so we can see them better. So you can see the banking on the outside there as well, as it comes around and joins the main straight. And the sun low in the sky is amazing as well. So very, very cool, nicely done. And in the winter time as well, just adds that little bit of extra look to it. I mean, that's frost on the side of the banking there. But, you can see this one's fenced off because of the banking not being in use on this one. But there we go. So that's a little look around the circuit. Nice clouds. But yeah, so overall, very, very impressed. And if you're on the fence of thinking about whether or not to add it to your Automobilista 2 install, I would very much encourage you to go ahead and do it, because whether you like Monza or not, I think just for the actual historical value of the circuit, and if nothing else, just do it for the 91 circuit, because to be honest, this is so good. You can just throw it through that first chicane, and it's yeah, very, very enjoyable indeed. So there we go. That's our. We're going to pop that back to the. We'll play that out and we'll watch someone else for a moment. Let's watch the supercar do its thing. But there we go. So that's our little review of the Monza circuit for Automobilista 2. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have enjoyed that, please do consider hitting the like button on the stream. That'd be really nice to know that you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your company and your comments this evening. It's been really, really good to have you with us and for the fun that we've been able to have. I hope you've had as much fun as I did during doing this stream. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as well. Then you don't get to miss out on any other craziness that we do in Automobilista 2 Race Stream or any other sim that's out there. But once again, thank you for your company. It means so much to me to know that you guys enjoy watching what we're doing, even if we do take our life into our own hands. But until next time, we will see you all very, very soon indeed, and we'll hopefully get another video out to you guys shortly. But until then, we will be streaming next Saturday, and we will see you very soon. So take care of yourselves, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.